Today, we're talking about Jo Koy's absolute flop at the Golden Globes, where he tried to make fun of Taylor Swift, the Alaska Airlines flight that had a door fly off of it mid-flight, and the over foot of snow that fell on the East Coast just this weekend. So first off, if you guys have been watching TV the past couple years, you know that award shows have absolutely flopped. Nobody actually cares about them anymore, and they're just a publicity stunt. And Jo Koy, who is apparently a celebrity actor something, he went on to host the Golden Globes last night, and he actually said he only got the job 10 days ago, and he tried to make a joke about everyone's beloved superstar, Taylor Swift. He made a joke saying, what's the difference between the Golden Globes and the NFL? At the Golden Globes, we have less camera shots of Taylor Swift. He was then met with absolute silence as nobody joked about that and nobody thought it was funny. And as Taylor Swift takes a sip of her drink and just looks absolutely annoyed at him. When Jo Koy was asked after the Golden Globes how he felt the reception towards his jokes were, he said that he was a little hurt because this is a dream job and a dream opportunity, but he was only given it 10 days ago. He said, I had fun. It was a moment that I'll always remember. It's a tough room. It was a hard job. I'm not going to lie. I'd be lying if I said it didn't hurt. Yes, I'm a stand-up comic, but that hosting position is a different style. He also said that the joke about Taylor Swift was meant to be a jab at the NFL for how many times they show Taylor Swift during a football game, but he said the joke just didn't land that well, and everybody thought he was going after Taylor Swift. But as you guys can see from the still shots of Taylor Swift sipping on her drink during that joke, she was absolutely annoyed at what that guy was doing, and he probably lost a lot of Taylor Swift fans. And then imagine this. You're in the northern part of America and it's the middle of January. All of a sudden, you are either kicked out of your apartment or you have wooden slats put on your doors and you are locked in indefinitely. This happened to residents in Harvey, Illinois this weekend when they said that the manager of the hotel and allegedly police as well came and started to board up all the doors and windows while people were still trapped inside. Residents at an apartment building in South suburban Harvey made a plea for answers on Sunday following allegations that multiple units were boarded up, trapping residents inside. And now, they didn't discriminate against anybody. There were women, children, elderly, men, anybody, if you were still in that apartment, were boarded up and locked inside. Now, apparently there's been allegations that the apartment did tell these people from the beginning of December that they had to get out by the end of the month, and if not, their apartments were going to be boarded up. But you cannot just go in and put them in there and trap those people indefinitely. There has to be some sort of an eviction process. This went absolutely viral on TikTok, and that is what actually prompted the boards to be taken down and let those people out, because videos on TikTok got millions and tens of millions of views. People that were asked about it that actually live in that apartment complex said, I'm very upset. I've never gone through this in my life. I've never seen anything like this in my life. One woman had her nephew call her and he said, you're boarded up here? She had no idea. When she opened the door, that's when she saw there was a board blocking her from getting out. She looked out the window, same thing. That was Rudolph Williams. They were absolutely trapped inside their apartment and had no idea. At least 4 people were inside their apartments, including a mother, her 2 children, and an elderly person. One resident told NBC Chicago that she received a letter which stated it was in residents' best interest to evacuate, but she thought it was just some sort of joke. The city of Harvey reported it has experienced issues regarding unsafe conditions at 2 buildings, 14445 and 14437 in Halstead since last fall. In a statement, city officials explained the building's owners were told that evacuations were mandatory by October 28th. Then in mid-December, the city's building department determined both buildings pose an imminent safety risk due to the extensive deterioration of balconies and staircases. City leaders said it was the property's owner's responsibility to tell tenants they needed to evacuate, and a City of Harvey spokesperson said the city did not evict anyone nor participate in these board ups. One of the people that was evicted said, it's getting cold out here. Where are we supposed to go? You can't do this to us. We don't want anybody to do that to you all. The East Coast over the past 2 years has gone virtually without any snow until this weekend. They were absolutely pounded, with some places in New Hampshire recording 18.5 inches of snow. That is over 1.5 feet of snow just over this past weekend. This caused towns in Massachusetts police departments to actually go on Facebook and ask residents to please stay home, Do not leave your house because of how bad the conditions were outside and how long it had been since anybody had seen snow like this. 18-wheelers were absolutely run off the road and damaged. Tons of other cars were stuck in the snow, and people all around were just not having a good weekend in the Northeast. Heavy snow in Pennsylvania and Maryland were recording at 1 to 2 inches per hour. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, one of the communities that ended its snowless streak of nearly a year, saw its last significant snow last January 25th, 2023. And for areas in the Northeast, this is very uncommon. They're used to having big snows every single year. Owner of Cannon Coffee in Maryland said, "I'm thrilled about the snow. My children are very young, and I feel like my youngest hasn't even experienced a real snow in the past couple years. And growing up here, we had massive snowstorms." Now, this is not the end of the snow for the Northeast this weekend. Apparently, this week there is another massive storm coming to the Midwest and moving its way east, as well as the tornado that just happened last week in Fort Lauderdale. There has been crazy weather all across the country. Even in Texas, where I'm at, next week, it's going to be getting down to 17 degrees in North Texas. If you have a fear of flying in planes and haven't yet made that trip, do not watch the rest of this video, because an Alaskan Airlines flight on its way from Oregon to California had one of the fake doors absolutely blow off the plane and land in a teacher's backyard. So over the weekend, a plane that was going from Portland, Oregon to Ontario, California, just 20 minutes into the flight, had a door cover blow off of the plane and started sucking people's phones out the plane, as well as one child's t-shirt being ripped off. Now, this was not the main emergency exit door, but is a fake door there to be traded out if it needs to, based on the size of a different plane. And people were wondering all weekend, were the people safe on the plane? Yes, they were. Officials said nobody was injured. But then they started to wonder, what about the items that were flung out of the plane? They obviously have to land. People's phones were actually found on the ground intact from thousands of feet in the air, as well as people were wondering, where in the world is the plane door? And a teacher actually found the door in his backyard, an Oregon teacher named Bob. Identifying the resident who sent the 2 photos of the item to the NTSB only as Bob, they tweeted, "Thank you, Bob, for finding this door. We're going to pick up that and make sure we begin analyzing what happened to it." 2 cell phones have also been found, one in a yard and the other on the side of the road. But what a lot of people are wondering is what happened to the voice recording. Apparently, according to the NTSB, at the end of the first full day of investigation, they said the plane cockpit's voice recorder recording of the event was inadvertently taped over, and at the time, the door plug had not been found. So right now, all the information from the cockpit is virtually gone, and people still don't know exactly why that door in that moment popped off the plane. One of the top 3 boxers in the entire world, according to some experts, Ryan Garcia, announced that he finally had his newborn baby with his wife this weekend, which was a great thing to see. Only until his next Instagram post, when he announced that he was getting a divorce. So he had the ultimate good news, bad news. He posted a great picture of his child, honored to announce, "My beautiful firstborn son. Praise the Lord. I am so thankful. I love him so much. He is already so fast. Took him just 8 minutes to arrive. You know where he got that speed from." But then in literally the next Instagram post, he posted this saying, "As I step into a new chapter in my life, it's with a heavy heart to share that Drea and I have decided to divorce. While this decision marks the end of our marriage, it's important to emphasize that our relationship as co-parents remains our top priority." In a since deleted Instagram post that went up almost immediately after the announcement, he said they're ending their marriage, and no one seemed to know that they were actually already officially married. Of course, the bigger reason is it was literally the very next thing that he posted. Andrea herself did not post the divorce statement, and Ryan now scrubbed it from his page, even though it was publicly up for well over 12 hours. Andrea has since posted some cryptic messages on her own Instagram story, perhaps suggesting that she's mad at him. She actually posted a screenshot of Eminem's song "Love the Way You Lie," and that's all she wrote. So nobody really knows what's going on in Ryan Garcia's life right now. Him and his wife right now have been together since 2019, and he's taken down the divorce announcement. So we don't know if they're really still getting a divorce or not. Let me know what you guys thought about anything going on in last episode we had of the news, and be sure to subscribe and hit that like button to be ready for tomorrow's brand new episode.